What I tell my team is to make sure that we're out there to build a rapport. We want to build a rapport with the community. We want to have empathy for things that are going on for the day to day. And we want to make sure that we're very transparent with the community. It's good that we are able to have these things now to try to mitigate some of the things that are happening and being able to help kids. Because it's not just during school hours, it's anytime. So, I mean, we're really monitoring and working with kids around the clock.
Welcome, Linwood Unified School District families, to another episode of Beyond the Classroom podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Barnes, and today we are going to be discussing what is pertinent to every single parent out there. Today we're going to be talking about trust, safety, and security on our campuses district-wide. Security is at the heart of every parent, as we want to make sure that when we send our children off to school, that they are safe and protected. Joining us today is our very own Chief of Security, Paul Garcia, who will be bringing information and insights about life on campus today and the security that Linwood Unified School District strives to provide to all of our families. We hope that you will take away knowledge and even more trust and confidence as a result of this podcast today. Thank you, Paul Garcia, for joining us today. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Thank you for having me aboard.
Thank you. So if you can open us up today with a little bit about yourself, your background, your experiences. How long have you been with Linwood Unified School District, the different roles that you've experienced here at our district as well. So
yes.
If you could share with us our
Thank you.
families.
So currently I've been working for Linwood Unified for 25 years. I am an alumni of the school district. I currently served elementary with Roosevelt Elementary, so go Teddy Bears. I then worked over to our Hostler Middle School and then went on to Linwood Knights.
Nice.
So that was a good experience. After that, I continued my career in junior college. After that, I continued in successing, making sure that we went on for leadership certificates, communications, emergency management, and so forth, executive leadership. So just continuing on with certificates, making sure things are up to date and staying abreast of what's going on in the world.
A lot of well-rounded experience here at the district.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's get to the heart of the matter. When you hear the phrase safer schools, and that's utilized a lot, right, throughout our nation.
Yes.
What does that mean personally to you as our Chief of Security?
So I envision safer schools as a place where not only students could come and feel safe in an environment to where it's a learning environment for them, but them not having to worry about the excess of things that are going on in today. Example, we have active shooters, things like that are going on. A lot of situations with that. Parents sometimes, feel worried and so forth. I want to be able to have a community as schools where people feel safe. They come in, they feel welcome, they can concentrate on their education and not have to worry about things that may be occurring, around the rail. We want them to have that safe comfortability.
Good. And I would think that before families really feel safe in really any, I think, school establishment or school district, it requires, I think, a precipitating experience of trust, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to our students and our families and all of our schools, how do we help our families feel safe and, I guess, really build that trust between all three parties?
So part of that is what I tell my team is to make sure that we're out there to build a rapport. We want to build a rapport with the community. We want to have empathy for things that are going on for the day to day. And we want to make sure that we're very transparent with the community. They see us out there. They see us in the patrol cars, checking the schools. They see us on the school grounds. We're always checking in. We'll stop by, say hi to the community. So part of that is just building that alliance with the community to make sure that they know that we are out there for them, first and foremost, and having them also be welcome when they come onto our school sites. So building that capacity helps to build that trust.
Got it. So with that capacity and then that trust, you're really even also building a lot of credibility within the community, right?
Yes.
Do you ever find that the presence of security invokes any type of fear just based upon like the presence, or does it bring a sense of calmness to families?
That's a good question. So, what I've learned over the years is that how we deal with the public, how we communicate, it is a two-tiered system. One is, yes, we are there for a deterrency. Being in a uniform, sometimes can intimidate the public, especially with certain things that are going on now, nationally wise. But most of us have grown up in the community. We're alumni. We do live here. They see a sense of a well-being. They get familiar with the officers. They know their names. So building that trust with everybody, they've grown to know that we are there for them. We are there for their kids. We are there to make sure that they're being helped and so forth. So just again, having that trust, that open communication, consistency, that helps a lot.
Yeah. And especially what you said, like the fact that you are alumni, you're from Linwood, you live in Linwood, like I could see how families would feel more at ease and more comfortable and safe with people that really understand their own, right? But then there's the other piece that comes with your position as chief of security when you have to begin rolling out like safety measures, right? There's different circumstances. Sometimes there's unpredictable things happening that you guys have to take measures to really emphasize safety. Maybe, for example, let's say that maybe there's a bomb threat, right? And you guys have to do like an investigation, and then you guys have to take safety measures. And maybe safety has to come first before maybe immediate parental contact. How can you guys really eliminate or extinguish anxiety in families while having to take the safety measures that you need to take as a chief of security and with all of your people that support you? Because that would be challenging, right?
Yes. So part of that is anxiety is always going to be there. Anytime you're dealing with children in their school site, I mean, that's our most precious things. We understand that.
Yeah.
So one thing is right. We have to have the safety element for the kids first and our staff. But one thing that we try to do is also making sure that our district office, our school sites are sending out that message right away. We want to make sure as soon as there's an alert for any type of activity, both in and around our schools, we are making sure that parents are being notified in a certain amount of time. The open transparency that has that gives them that, okay, the school is notifying me. A lot of times, though, we cannot share certain information right away because there might be a thorough investigation that maybe the sheriffs need to do, so forth. But just giving that parent that there is something going on with my school, my child's school. We are looking into it. Law enforcement's there. Campus safety is there. We have district employees that are, there. Kind of helps put a little ease on what's going on. Another thing, too, with technology, a lot of students, they're on the phone. I think that's a good thing to have that communication with their parents. So they're able to have that communication directly with their child to know that they are safe. And then part of that is as we are responding to the schools, that's one thing that my staff always want to make sure is what's going on here. How can we keep everybody safe? We as parents also have to put on that hat that we understand that these are people's kids. These are their babies. We have to take that in consideration, but we also want to make sure that it is a safe environment for them. Right. And a lot of times too, school sites are the best place in an emergency. We have resources, we have places, we have, LCSWs, we have SEL members, we have child nutrition if kids need to be fed. We have a lot of resources that can come in. So sometimes the best place in an emergency will be a school site for kids. And
I think that's one thing that's really special about Linwood Unified School District. I think as a whole, you said it right now. It's actually, there's two things I love about this district. One is the transparency, is that you guys really do practice authenticity and trying to share information in real time. But while, like you said, having to guard maybe some details, but you guys really, truly try to practice transparency. And the second thing is that you guys have this family feel. Like it's like a family environment district-wide. And so I feel that as an employee, I'm sure you've experienced that too. And then we transfer that into our school sites and our relationships with our families, right? Yes. So I think that is such a blessing that this district does provide, is that family piece that really I think is lacking in other places. So I think that's what separates Linwood Unified and makes this school district special, right? When it comes to safety measures, sometimes it could feel unwelcoming, right? One thing I appreciate as a mom that you guys have put into place is like the key badge entrances at the school sites. So not just anybody could come on campus, but for somebody that might feel like that's unwelcoming, how do you balance the two? We're going to do safety measures, but we also want to make you feel welcomed to our campuses.
Right. So, those things are challenging every time something new is introduced. What we like to do is, again, make sure that we're communicating that to our families of what we're bringing into the district and the why. I think a lot of times people don't get the why, and then they create their own interpretation of it. So letting them know that not only for their children, but we also want to keep our staff safe. So like you mentioned, locks on the front of the doors and stuff like that, that's to keep our front office staff safe. They're the front people who encounter, anybody that's coming in. We just don't want anybody walking into our schools and gaining entry. So we want to be able to provide what we call safety measures in place. So multiple safety measures, having them helps to alleviate some of the crime and things that can happen in our schools. We don't want to disclose everything as far as too much to the public, because we wouldn't want anybody that's thinking about hurting our kids, to know exactly the things that we have. But we do have several measures in place that we can share, and we try to be, again, transparent with that with the community.
Right. I think as a nation, a lot of fear has set into our families because of certain, I'm sure everybody already knows what's in the news and the social media and the things that we see with like school shootings and just different events. What are signs that educators, staff members, and even parents within the community, what can we look for as signs of potential threats to help support the district continue safe campuses? Like, are there signs that we could all look out for? Like, when you see something, say something, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the signs that you would say, this is an alert, and to look out for this, and then communicate with district personnel so we could continue making our kids always, like, that's the number one thing you said, is like safety of our children. So while our campuses are safe, to reinsure the safety, are there certain signs that we could all look for?
Yeah, so some of the things that's pretty common out there is isolation. Is there kids that maybe just isolated by themselves? Maybe they're not making connection with friends. During lunchtime, they're maybe in a corner sitting by themselves. So things like that, we train staff, especially my staff, to make contact. Every day you should be making contact with everybody, especially welcoming everybody coming in. Hi, good morning, how you're doing. That breaks a lot of the unbearance of people sometimes feeling uncomfortable, that they're welcoming, themselves there and stuff. Also, any type of rapid change. Maybe one student is more quiet, now they're, they changed their hair color, they're into a whole different, aspect of their appearance and this and that. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, we're all young, we all been there, we try to set in with trends, but...
You're talking about the dramatic change.
Yeah. From zero to the next day, it's a whole difference. And just kind of, I would say as parents, one thing we always want to be is talk to your kids. Get engaged. How are they doing? What's going on? Social media now has a different side of sometimes our students and our kids are influenced on a lot of things with social media.
Yeah.
So as a parent and a grandparent myself, I always say, talk, see what's going on. Try to learn some of the new things that are going out there, the aspects of movies that we're watching now. Are they really, to the extreme of certain things? Little signs like that are sometimes just little key factors that you kind of want to just tune into. If you do feel something that maybe you're not too sure of, ask. It's always good to say, hey, I'd like to ask the school if maybe they can have, one of the LCSWs or SELs, come in. And I notice, my student kind of feels a little bit downtime around this time or holidays. It's really just checking in on everybody. Staying abreast of really communicating and building rapport with kids is part of our key factor of being, staying on top of safety.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, it's easy sometimes to maybe judge a child or a teenager based upon, I don't know if we're profiling or judging how they look or the style that they're carrying. And instead of going in with that mindset of judging, I think we need to go and inquire, like you said, what you're training your staff to do is check in on the student, make a human connection, because that could really make a change, a pivotal moment that maybe a kid is entering in at a juncture of whether it's self-harm or harm to others, right? But when an adult is saying, hey, I see you, I care about you, how are you doing today? It literally could curb whatever potential ideation that kid or teenager might be struggling with, and it could say, somebody saw me today and talked to me, right? So I'm glad that you're training your staff to do that, because that really could make a difference.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's making people feel important, that they're there, that they're there, and that we care as a school district. You know, we're there for our families. We really put emphasis on wanting kids to learn and have a safe environment. I mean, that's what is very unique about our school district, and that's what we do. We try to, you know, continue on to build on that.
Yeah. When it comes to our families, and as chief in your role, what role do families play with actually enhancing security and the safety of kids on campus?
Very strong, very strong. We are with the kids, you know, 8 hours a day, sometimes longer, 5 days a week. So we're like second parents to them for the most part. But I think just family engagement, you know, getting involved, bringing those recommendations and things to our attention sometimes, looking at it from a different outside looking in, that lens helps us to change certain dynamics that we may need to look at, bring things to, you know, acknowledge to the forefront that maybe we didn't see. So that engagement is very vital to us. At the end of the day, these are parents. They are, you know, are there for their kids. They're leaving them with us, you know, in our responsibility. So we, not only as an education, but we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for them. And how do we bring that? It's communicating. I don't think titles really display a emphasis on whether you're from the superintendent all the way down to anybody, you know, any level, whether it's custodial staff, campus monitors, is, you know, we all work for the district that are here to serve the community.
Right.
And when I say, I don't say students, I say we serve the community. That's what we do here. You know, we do it to the best of our ability. So family engagement is great. I mean, we do a lot of support for families, and I think we could do more.
And parents and families are, they're situated uniquely in the sense of not only are they gaining information, I think, about their own child, but their children end up coming home and saying, hey, Jonathan told me this, or Jennifer shared this with me. And if there's like alarms, right, then that parent can come to the school and communicate with the school of, this other student is going through something. So they could really advocate not just for their own, but for their child's friends or their child's cohorts or whoever their peers are. They're uniquely situated to receive information that we may not necessarily get, right?
Right. And some of the other tools that we have too, we have anonymous reporting as well. So a lot of times things may come through our anonymous reporting.
What is that? Can you explain that more to the families?
Yes. So we actually have a vendor that through Safer Schools, and through this website for any of the school districts, any family can actually tap on the link and they can report things that may be occurring, things that maybe they've heard, they want to acknowledge the school district of, or the school itself. In real time, once that is submitted from the families, there's district staff along with me that get that. We're able to open that, read it, what's going on, and be able to further investigate. It's in English and in Spanish, which is great for our families too. But that helps a lot. We do get a lot of anonymous reporting, and sometimes I understand some people may be a little, you know, shy to come forward. They're a little nervous and stuff. So that's another avenue that families can use. Also, the students.
Right.
It's open. It's an open platform. So a lot of students will also give us information through that resource and be able to identify things that may be happening in the school, but they want to rename anonymous. So that helps.
And that's so important that they have a resource like that, because not everybody wants to be readily identified as,
exactly.
I made this report. That actually leads me to my next question for you. A lot of things that actually happen are not necessarily always on campus. They actually occur behind the scenes. In my experience as a clinician, I've dealt a lot with students who are bullied, and sometimes a lot of the bullying can be cyberbullying, like online harassment, or like engaged or treated with intimidating behaviors by like another student. How does the school district address, or how can they address these issues, such as the bullying, the online harassments, the intimidating behaviors? How can they support these students that may begin to be feeling unsafe? How do those issues get addressed when it comes to the behind the scenes stuff that we can't always necessarily see behaviorally on campus?
Right. So one thing is making sure that we're out there. As a school district, as the community, we want to make sure that we're always there in the presence with kids. Morning arrival, lunchtime, passing periods, or dismissals, and it's the engagement with kids. When you build that rapport day to day, you start learning kids by their name. It's more of that home front. Hey, Johnny, how are you doing? Sarah, Paul, stuff. So having that connection with kids, you can see when certain things are not on point. Maybe somebody's now distant. Maybe they're having more bad days than they didn't. So little key flags like that sometimes is what we want to look for. Also with that, with our platforms of having multiple people in different areas, with our clinicians and things, having that support, checking in on people, getting back to them. We want to make sure that we have a wraparound to make sure that kids know that there's somebody out there for them.
Right.
And sometimes people may not want to come forward right away. They may be dealing with certain things or they don't know how to. So part of that is what the district is always making sure that we are, advising the different tools that we have here, different resources that we can go to. We work with a lot of outside agencies that come in to help as well. And sometimes kids, they just want to be heard. Yeah. Everybody's dealing with a lot of different things today, even as adults and individuals. So just knowing that resources are available, I think is what's way different from when you and I went to school.
Right. Oh, it's so different.
It was go to your counselor, and they'll help you, and it just changed rapidly now. There's so many things going on. So, yeah.
It's so different. In high school, I never even knew who my counselor was. When I was in high school for 4 years, I never met with my counselor.
Wow.
So, and today, I feel like our counselors are on it. Like, they're meeting the students, calling them in, supporting them.
Yeah.
It is very different, right?
Oh, yeah. Even when I was in school, I was short that I am, if you guys didn't know. But I was bullied, for being, very short and stuff like that. So I had to, go through my years of working those things. But again, I think just seeing people for their humanity, seeing who they are, just looking past the outside cover and just really building that talk, with them. It goes a long way. Kids really open up when they feel safe.
They really do. When
they see the same officer that's there, they get to know that person. They feel a sense of that safety net. They're there for them. It's just another person that they get comfortable with. And you'd be surprised. Kids will notify us of what's going on. They know the inside. Yeah.
There's a resource that Illinois Unified utilizes, and I've seen it a lot on commercials and social media, and that's Gaggle. So can you kind of explain to the families what Gaggle is and how that is deemed a safety measure to protect our students?
So Gaggle is kind of very similar to our anonymous reporting, but that deals with more of our, it's under our district student email. So all students here have emails. When a lot of times students will be sending stuff not only to their teachers for assignment, but sometimes they do peer-to-peer. They can conversate in certain things that maybe not be appropriate. With Gaggle, what happens with that is it'll flag certain things that maybe somebody might be researching, maybe cyberbullying with somebody, doing things that are probably not appropriate. So with that, it does monitor the student's email. It'll send an alert system to district staff that'll help monitor it, and along with the teacher to know what's going on as well as they're using their district emails or their student emails. With that, we're able to determine, okay, it's exactly who this person is, and then that'll be, dealt with, depending on what that situation is and going so forth. So that helps to monitor both, while they're at school as well. And we have Safer Schools, which monitors social media platform. So even off duty or not in school, Linwood has a agreement with a vendor that we help monitor social media platforms. And what that consists of is maybe certain words, maybe wanting to do harm to oneself. And in real time, there is people who monitor the vendor, these things that circumstances that may be happening, and what they'll do is they'll let us know, the school district. We might have to involve local law enforcement, maybe clinicians, for what's going on, if there's self-harm and so forth. So it's good that we are able to have these things now to try to mitigate some of the things that are happening, and being able to help kids. Because it's not just during school hours, it's anytime. So, I mean, we're really monitoring and working with kids around the clock.
Yeah. And what maybe our families, maybe they know, or what they don't know, is that Linwood Unified has been very progressive and proactive with all of these resources. These resources were not just put into place recently.
No.
They've been there for a long time. Safer Schools, the non-anonymous phone calls, what you just mentioned, the gaggle alerts. Then you have the Health Collaborative, our LCSWs, the mental health component, the men under you, your security, safety campus staff. There have been so many measures taken, and that even existed myself when I came to this district like 10 years ago. And that's so awesome to just see that you guys have been progressive before all of this, I think, national attention, began. Right. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
The steps you guys have already taken.
Yeah, so part of, what's good with this district is I do be able to travel to safety conferences and so forth, and a lot of that is finding things that other districts may be doing. What may work for them, what's out there now that we can bring back to Linwood and be able to stay ahead of the game. And, with anything, things change. Right. So we always want to stay abreast of what is the new trend out there, what new safety measures can we put into place. Is there something that's outdated that now we need to move forward with something newer? So it just keeping that vision aligned of that we know we have to, the bad guy is always going to be out there. We want to make sure that we're staying ahead of it and doing the best that we can for our families. Yeah,
I think one of your biggest projects recently, and the rollout of that, which is an amazing feat, was Centegix.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You want to explain a little bit about that to our families?
Yeah, so actually Centegix is a mass notification. It's a small size access badge that staff gets to wear with them at all times.
District-wide staff, right?
District-wide staff. It actually came out of Alyssa's Law. So for those who are not familiar with Alyssa's Law, Alyssa was a student at Stoneman Douglas High. Unfortunately, she perished during that. There was an active shooter. Her family, who's advocated for her, had went to the state level to be able to provide mass notification. How do we get that into the school sites? So instead of having, let's say there's a button on the wall, right? And there's a emergency that's going on. Well, we may not be able to get to that button, right? So how do we get mass notification to everybody, but also keep that person or person safe trying to get that notification out? So I was able to find this new tool that we brought back to the district, and it's the size of an access badge. It has an alert button on there that has two type of functions. So one function is a local response. That's if any staff member, they see maybe there's a fight going on, they see something suspicious, they can push the button 3 times. The local site response team, the administration, the custodial staff, maybe the house collaborated, whoever's assigned to that school site will give a response. It notifies staff who's assigned as a responder on their cell phone, on their laptop, of who the person that needs assistance, and their location of where they're at. And then they're able to get a real-time response. And then there's also another feature for this Centegix badge is what we call a mass notification for lockdown. So any staff member anywhere in the school district while you're on school site can push the button multiple times. That will now trigger multiple things that are going on. We have our emergencies and protocols and procedures in there. But I can't tell you too much, but as far as that though, but notifications will go out over our PA systems that we have now installed across our district. Lights will be flashing. There will be notifications across district screens, everything that this is a lockdown in place, and so forth. So with that, it helps take time. It cuts the emergency time down to get that notification out to people. Because in a real emergency, we only have so many seconds
Right.
to get to shelter into place or get behind somewhere that's going to be safe for everybody. So with this new, this item, the tool that we have, it now cuts that out.
Yeah.
You're not having to run to a phone, trying to put in a code, call over the PA system. It automatically, wherever you're at. You could be in the parking lot, you could see something happening, you can put the school in a lockdown if you need to, and so forth. Or if you have a medical emergency yourself, a teacher maybe has it, or a student, you can now get that local response and get there quicker. So having that tool available to all staff gives them a little sense of, hey, I know somebody's coming. I'm going to get a quick, rapid response. We're also working with our local LA County sheriffs. So they'll, in a lockdown situation, they're going to be coming and getting notified too. So just knowing that you have that cavalry coming to help you is a good feeling for any staff member, that you have that resource there.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you for taking on that project and really implementing it.
Thank you.
I mean, I think that's probably the biggest safety measure and the most important that Linwood Unified School District has taken and invested in.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Even as an employee, it makes me feel safer that I could just press my badge and my button and know that the cavalry will arrive, right?
Yeah.
So important. And I like how you phrased it, that it really cuts down, like it cuts other unnecessary things out, because the phone calls out. You just press the button and everybody is there to show up. And I think that's something that could make our families, again, find more trust and the confidence that Linwood Unified is very credible and doing everything they can to protect not just the students, but the staff and families in general.
Yeah.
Everybody within the community, right? So.
And we were the first in the South region in California.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
if you look a little bit at the history of it, this was brought out on the East Coast first. And when we were able to travel, and myself, one of my good partners, Jose Hariki, our director of student services, we actually were able to see the vendor experience in that, bring that information back, and we thought it was phenomenal. We wanted to bring that here. We luckily, our Board of Education, they saw it. They wanted to, hey, we want to invest in this. Let's do this.
Is there a Golden Bell Award for that one?
There is a Golden Bell.
You need to get that one. Linwood Unified deserves that one.
We will.
Oh, really?
So we're hoping we'll get it again. We're gonna apply for it this year coming up.
Good.
But with that though, I think it's just been very successful. But again, we were the first in the South of California on the West Coast to actually receive this. So a lot of partnerships with other school districts are now reaching out to see how this is working, and
you guys implemented it.
and yeah, just having that is just a great tool.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, I think you just answered my question. I think that's the most recent innovation that Linwood Unified has taken to really promote the well-being and the safety of all students and faculty. And so thank you. Yeah. So every time we end our podcast, we always end with a take-home challenge. So today I would like for you to speak to our families. What is something that they could do today, or something even just within this week, to support the safety of our students, both at campus, at home, and within the community? Is there something that you would recommend that our parents and families could do?
Okay. Yeah. So while closing out, one of the things is that if you're not familiar, the district does have a safety task force team. We have a committee that meets every quarterly at the district office. That consists of different departments all the way down to the community, and get involved. We want to hear what the community sees out there. Again, how can we better serve our students, our families? When we're out there patrolling the school sites, driving through the city, we want to make sure that we're here for you guys. We're here to protect our schools. We're here to protect our kids. We're a partnership in all this. We are one community working for the betterment of our kids out here. Just know that one thing is we are one as Linwood. We want to make sure that we are doing the best that we can, and just continue having that dialogue. My team is out here to support, and we just want to continue to just build on that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And as many of you guys probably don't know, Mr. Garcia, like, he's one of the most busiest people. If there's any person here at the district that is busy, is definitely his role, because there is a heavy weight on his shoulders just to make sure that everybody is safe within basically the Linwood walls. So thank you, families, for joining in today. I just want to encourage you that because of his work right here, that you can increase your confidence and trust in Linwood Unified School District, because as a district, we really do promote safety measures that are equitable in practice, that are inclusive for all students. And at the top of the list is safety. So if you have any questions about safety or any concerns related to that, Mr. Paul Garcia is your point of contact, or you could just go straight to Student Services Department and talk to us, and we'll guide you through the process. Thank you again for tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you again at our next episode of Beyond the Classroom podcast. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, families.